So I'm sure your sub feed is going to be lit up with videos similar to this one. I'm sure that you've heard the discourse surrounding it on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, wherever you follow in gaming media in the last 24 to 36 hours. But COD's complacency has put in some real hot water as of late, as we've seen major announcements of groundbreaking updates, overhauls, and just straight up innovations that can carry other games for years. Today, I want to discuss some of where we're at and just casually go over where we could be heading. So as we go along, drop your thoughts down below. Do you think that competition is good for COD? Do you think that what we see out of these recent industry announcements as well as launches could be good for COD in the future? Do you think anything good will come of it on the other side? Whatever the case, drop your thoughts below. But if you enjoyed the video, do me a favor and drop a like on it. And if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing to join the community. I'd love to have you. And finally, check out my friends over at Gamer Advantage for the best blue light glasses on the market. But for now, let's jump into it. First, I want to start this video off by saying my goal is to just simply present the current state as it is. I'm sure that it'll probably deviate with some of my opinions because I'm just passionate about the franchise and want it to do well. But my main aim is to let you know where we're at in this space right now and how pressure is mounting. Also, yes, I am fully aware of the almost cannibalistic nature of the COD community that it has with itself, myself included, but I'll tell you up front, I do not believe that Call of Duty will die. I don't think that it will be killed. That's been said for 20 years now and nothing has truly dethroned it, but I do think that there are valid options upcoming for those who may want to try other things out and the potential wild success of other IPs that should have Call of Duty's IP questioning its complacency. So let's start. As of yesterday, we saw two major announcements within the gaming scene, one for CS2 and one for Fortnite's Unreal Engine Creative 2.0. CS2 we talked about yesterday in a dedicated video. If you guys are interested in that, honestly, it's been a blast kind of trying to expand out to other games. So if you guys want to check that out, if you haven't seen it already, that's up on the channel already. Truly appreciate you if you guys decide to give the other content that isn't COD a shot here. That means the world to me, but I don't want to stay too much on this because we did just talk about it. But we saw some innovations for CS2. Some comments pointed out that yes, it is primarily a facelift, but some of the core mechanical items like smoke, like tick rates, those are small yet hugely impactful changes. Tick rate in particular, jumping from 64 tick rate servers to, while not specifically stated as 128 in any explicit manner yet, but guaranteeing a sub-tick update system where inputs are tracked even between the updates the servers will make, meaning that those millisecond differences are always going to be logged. That is absolutely huge. That's an innovation that's necessary, but won't go overboard trying to reinvent the game, reinvent the wheel, and the innovation is there to simply improve the gameplay experience first and foremost. They're not trying to jump in and change the formula to improve player numbers, retention, or anything like that. It's just in its simplest form, a change and update that's made to better the gameplay experience, to be more responsive and be a better game. Now, Fortnite's Unreal Engine, something we didn't quite get around to talking about. Listen, I am not a Fortnite fan really by any means. I'm not trying to advocate, hey, go jump ship for COD, go play Fortnite, a cartoony game that a lot of people may say is for kids, but I cannot deny the sheer level of power that it has and some of the cool things that it has done. This included Fortnite's Unreal Editor was released and is available now to play, and dude, it's like Pandora's box of creations waiting to happen, but in a good way. Not really anything that I can think of that's too detrimental to the gaming scene. This has massive potential. Like, I think there's real potential that you could see some really big projects explode from this readily available developmental toolset for anyone to play around with. I mean, the current boom of the last 5 years or so with Battle Royale games was largely attributed to this same very similar design pipeline. PUBG, one of the first, if not the first mainstream Battle Royale. Yes, there were other games before it that took the last man standing gameplay loop and utilize that, but PUBG is what I'd argue is the first one to truly popularize it in the mainstream gaming scene. That was built as an Arma 2 mod, a game within a game, which is exactly what Fortnite is now allowing players to do. Create their own worlds, their own experiences. They're truly giving unrivaled creative freedom to creators. I guarantee you'll find mini games popping up that'll make headlines in the next year or two, homegrown creative stuff that just is killer. And in particular with Fortnite, honestly, I gotta tip my hat because maybe I'm getting ahead of myself, but like to have an industry changing wave that they did back with the launch of Fortnite and that first initial wave of popularity, that's like once in a gaming generational thing. But to be on the precipice of doing it again just a few years later, that's truly incredible. Again, not really even a fan of Fortnite, but that's just truly remarkable to have two potentially industry-shaping events from the same IP in such a short span of time by comparison to the big picture. That's crazy to consider. But when you look at the last 24 hours, the key factors in this kind of stuff was innovating and creating and adding to the gameplay experiences for the betterment of the player's enjoyment, for the gameplay loop to be even better. Not trying to reinvent the wheel at any time. So what's Call of Duty doing? Well, we have COD 2.0 in a game state that has been incredibly polarizing since the reveal back in September at COD Next. And listen, again, I'm not here to argue subjective opinions. If you enjoy it, I'm very happy that you are. Fundamentally, truly, I don't have a problem too much with multiplayer. I wish the TTK was a bit higher. I wish it didn't take 3 business days to ADS and a few other things. But as we'll mention in a video this weekend, maybe tomorrow, not entirely sure, I'm still grinding out the game on a daily or semi-daily basis. But here's my thing. I've covered this franchise for over a decade at this point, and I don't know that I've felt such a discomfort in the vocal community. And that's going through Vanguard, Infinite Warfare, Ghosts, all those sort of low periods the franchise has had. And sure, perhaps there's some selective memory happening there, but it just seems like for a game that could have been a simple layup following Modern Warfare 2019 and Warzone 1's experience, how so much has missed the mark on the identity of COD to date is just like almost impressive to me at this point. And again, I'm not here to argue. If you enjoy it, very happy for you, but when you look at the golden era games of COD, they were fundamentally arcade shooters. Snappy ADS, simple yet fun gameplay experiences, for the time, fast-paced gameplay loops. Modern Warfare 2 to me seems like it's trying its hardest to be a tactical milsim, but with anime skins. Like, I'm not sure why every attachment penalizes ADS speed and a snappy reaction. I'm not sure why TTKs hover around the 0.3 of a second mark, where you combine those things and it makes a game that you'll die if you un-ADS, a game that has clunky movement animations. And I'm not even considering like slide canceling stuff. Like, that's genuinely a busted mechanic for Modern Warfare 2019, but it feels like anytime you're trying to move around in this game, you have like 50 pounds of extra added weight on your operator. So like, what's the root of this problem? You could argue probably a number of things, but to me, when you look at the things we just talked about with the other games, there's too many Call of Duty experiences that feel like the formula changes year over year. I mean, just the last couple of years, look at Infinite Warfare, World War II, Black Ops 4, Modern Warfare 2019, Cold War, Vanguard, Modern Warfare 2. How many of those feel exactly the same in terms of fundamental core mechanics? How many of those just in the Warzone era could you go into Warzone and be like, oh, this is the same game as Cold War, this is the same game as Vanguard? None of them, because they were all fundamentally different in animation, core movement, mechanics, flow, and all. Everything about the game changes every single year, which can be good or bad, of course, depending on who you ask, but you take that with the formula of any other game and it doesn't work. CS, for direct comparison, that would create a riot if that happened. Fortnite, while it's getting constant updates, doesn't go out and create Fortnite 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on, where it changes the base mechanics and fundamentals of the game. No one's really trying to reinvent the wheel, and on such a regular basis as COD is, I think this year is where it's the most apparent. And because of that, a lot of it is reactionary. We're changing things to try and please player sentiment after the fact instead of doing things up front that have proved to be pretty good in the past and then building on top of that. To me, it almost feels like we're just coasting on the Call of Duty name. And again, I don't think Call of Duty is going to die. Call of Duty is like the McDonald's of the FPS industry, and I fully recognize that. I'm always somebody that will enjoy a Big Mac, always have, and probably will for a long time to come, but the problem can be taken in a number of different ways. I mean, yes, Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone 2, COD 2.0's era, did innovate in some capacity. We had console FOV added, finally. That was something that was 3 years overdue, if not longer, depending on who you ask. We have the ability to play in water, but in all actuality, I feel like, again, a lot of this gameplay loop, objectively speaking, is taking a step or two backwards in an attempt to change its fundamental identity. The buildup of Warzone's quality of life and gameplay items through Warzone 1, for example. I'm not sure why we saw a year and a half of improvements through Cold War and Vanguard's chapters removed for Warzone 2 that now we're seeing progressively roll out as if they're new items once again. It seems like most of Modern Warfare 2 overall in this era that we have right now is reactionary, with how many updates we have with issues that persist afterwards. Most of the next updates then are spent fixing those issues rather than introducing new gameplay helping features. But at the same time, it also feels like player sentiment is disregarded for the most part, if not entirely. I mean, for some examples, the game artificially creates this scarcity in specific modes, taking things away like, just as of recently, 10v10, a playlist that was a community-voted playlist, and something that I don't think that I saw anybody talk bad about 10v10. I think that that was almost universally loved, but it was taken away, and why? To increase the engagement for its return? I mean, like, using again that McDonald's reference here, that's like taking away the McRib. We know damn well you could make it at any single time you wanted to, but you choose not to. Also, I guess I should probably refrain from making so many McDonald's references. I swear I eat there like once every few months. But anyways, that and like shipment and shoot house modes for camo grinders and so on, why are these things not staple constants? Why not have all your party modes in one playlist? Why not have a mode dedicated for camo grinders? Why not have 10v10 for the people that want that a little bit higher action but on all of the maps? Why not have your standard 6v6 and all your other modes in quick play? I just don't see the point in taking that away. It doesn't break up the community that much. And beyond that, I mean, changes also mentioned with Warzone 2 at COD Next. That was something that I remember back at COD Next. Oh, you content creators and streamers are just so whiny. You want the game catered to you. But at the same time, the feedback we gave them is now 4 or 5 months later being introduced. It's almost like the players could have liked what Warzone was back with Warzone 1, and those massive, drastic, fundamental changes might not have been the best move. And I really don't want to sound all high and mighty, but like when you have those player counts dropping as drastically as they did, naturally you're going to revert back to stuff. But I can't help but think that could have been avoided entirely if you don't try and change the wheel. And this all on top of the existing arguments of drip-fed content. We just got our first brand new map for Modern Warfare 2 in Season 2 Reloaded, a whole 5 months into the game's life cycle. Think about that for a second. The first map post-launch that was created for Modern Warfare 2 that isn't a remake, a reimagination, something coming from Ground War or Al Mazrah. This is something that was first made for this game in the 6v6 experience nearly half of the way through the life cycle of the game. It just seems like Call of Duty is okay with kind of falling behind right now, and maybe sure they are. Maybe it's fine for your gameplay experience, but when I compare the 2.0 era of Call of Duty that we have right now to the now new eras of Creative 2.0 and Fortnite, CS2, those two ones are worlds ahead of Call of Duty in terms of their content offering and what they're trying to do to better the game. Now, that said, I hope this was coherent enough. I hope this wasn't just some blabbering and sounding whiny as a content creator or something like that. Truly, I'm still going to be making content on COD. Of course, I am going to start branching out more. Been having a lot of fun with that. Truth be told, if I can open up with you and be real with you, it is something that, yes, I expect numbers to take a hit on that. But for my sanity's sake, I've been having a blast making content recently on the finals, on CS2. Probably got a couple of more videos upcoming. I think I have a Battlefield 2042 video scheduled for some time in the next week or so that, depending on how the content schedule shifts, depends on when that goes up, among some other games as well. But I mean, I'm still going to be creating content on COD. It's just, I wish that we would take these steps to better the gameplay experience for everyone. When we see out there, it is absolutely possible. But right now we kind of just have what we have and a microtransaction generator with a shop. I mean, you look at the Twitters of Call of Duty, it's just playlist updates and shop updates. Kind of shows where the priorities are at, I guess. But anyways, again, hope this was coherent enough. Hope this made sense. I want to see the game, the franchise succeed. But man, I cannot deny that there is some mounting pressure from other awesome introductions in the industry as of late. So let me know your thoughts down below. What are you guys thinking here of this? Do you think that there could be good that comes at the end of this? Do you think this lights the fire underneath Activision and all the studios for Call of Duty to make something truly remarkable upcoming? I mean, as a result of Fortnite and that booming Battle Royale experience, we ended up seeing Blackout. We ended up seeing Warzone initially. So I mean, it is possible, but what do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts down below. If you enjoyed the video, you found it at all insightful, do me a favor and drop a like on it. And if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing to stay up to date with all things Modern Warfare 2, Warzone 2, and anything else COD related. But for now, thanks so much for watching. My name is Espresso. I'll see you guys later. Take care and peace.